Oh yeah.
They'll switch to Netflix. There's too many entertainment options. So I was sitting there like the first time it happened, what can I do? And I looked over at my backpacks of the gear that runs on Speedify. You paid for a year of it. You can use it on any computer or device. So I just pulled out my one of several hotspots I have, hooked it up, cranked up Speedify, and it has never been a problem since.
We used the Speedify software at a command line level, so it's not running a whole UI which is starting to drain resources. It's really very, very base level. And the really clever people at the BBC got it all working, and we're now presenting whole programs every single day of the year have been presented using this technology. All our weather reports from our weather presenter are done already.
If I look back at my original lives, they are awful. They're terrible. But we all start somewhere and we all get better. And every time you go live and every time you get on camera, you're going to get a little bit more comfortable.
You saw part
Really?
of it? Cool.
Nice. All right, we are famous. You want to say hi to everybody? Now you're on the video. So wave. That's the camera right there. Nice. All right. We are going back to look at this guy's house. It has a lot of white lights.
There he is. Hey, Christian.
Hi.
And tell me light on the deck so you can see when it's how it's live.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so these lights
do have RGB mixing, so if you want to do each color, you can mix them independently. Within the app, there are a couple features, and I'll just go show you this. So
see power. There we go.
Woo! Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Dallas is showing you how to get really dirty in the mud. Doesn't that look?
All of us have these amazing cameras. Apple, Samsung, Google, they put all of this R&D into making sure everyone is able to shoot really great video straight from their phones.
Also, I would say streaming kept me from going completely insane when I was in that hotel room for 2 weeks when I first got to Australia.
So raising awareness is really going to help break that stigma. We definitely have a stigma in our society where it's, not okay for folks to be open about their medical conditions. It's kind of seen as shameful.
We build custom PCs for a lot of content creators, gamers, you name it, businesses, colleges, esports, and we broadcast a lot of our builds here on our Twitch channel.
We treat people that are experiencing anxiety, depression, eating disorders, addiction, PTSD, and trauma.
Is just building budget aesthetic gaming PCs. And I have my studio here now, so we've graduated away from the basement of my house and whatnot.
Take a bunch of inputs from your computer, cameras, display captures, and mix them together into a video feed that you can stream out to the internet.
And then I do a lot of thought leadership talking and trying to educate the industry on the value of techifying, as I call it, their events, and been doing that for a long time.
I think it's been really quite comforting to a lot of people, and I think that's one of the things, when you manage stress and anxiety and all that, to make new friends, to be uplifting, to be supportive.
Welcome. This is Speedify Live, and I'm your host, Alex. I think this is our 84th episode. Can you believe it? Of Speedify Live, live stream about live streaming. We interview all sorts of live streamers. We interview the people who make live streaming software. And we get them to reveal their secrets. So, we talk to DJs who live stream, and we talk to, well, you'll see who we have today. But give us a follow. Everything's free, all content free. We interview all sorts of interesting people doing neat things with live streaming. And tell us in the comments who else you're watching. We can get them on the show, right? This is a show. Find out the secrets of the live streamers. So let's get on the live streamers who you guys know about. Our guest today is Cody, aka DSKoopa. He is on Twitch. He is the owner of Pink Gorilla Games. Yeah. He's been live streaming for years. A number of our other guests have him as the inspiration that got them live streaming. So before we get him on, why don't we show a real quick, so you can see just a few highlights of what his streams are like on Twitch. Bring Cody on, and we'll roll the clip.
So it works like this. You have a big list of prizes, as you can see here, and you can win them. Pretty invincible.
Does nobody want Dora Puppy?
How about
Uragon? Look at that screen. That is a fresh screen on there, baby. Oh my god.
Throw it back, throw it back.
All right. Hey, Cody. Good to have you on.
Yeah, good to be on.
So how have you been?
Great. Staying busy with the store and just having fun live streaming.
Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself personally?
Yeah, me. I'm Cody James Spencer. I'm 33, and I've owned a really popular game store in Seattle called Pink Gorilla Games. That's definitely what I'm best known for. I've owned it for about 5 years, but I've worked there for like 12 years. So it's been like kind of my entire life, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So why did you decide to start live streaming?
So when I took over the store, already as is, I was always working late. There's like infinite piles and piles of things to work on at the store. But I was staying super late to like midnight or 2 a.m. and I was super bored. There's like kind of nothing to keep yourself entertained, or you get kind of lonely just hanging out by yourself. So I started watching Twitch streams. Everyone remembers like Twitch plays Pokemon. And then I caught on to Andy Milanakis. He was the first person I ever saw who was doing like in real life stuff. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an option. Okay, maybe people will think this is interesting, like some of the in-store stuff, lots of nerds on Twitch. So I just kind of turned it on, and yeah, it kept me feeling like someone was there to hang out with and have a little bit more fun with all the projects.
Cool. So Pink Gorilla Games, you didn't actually start it. It's been around.
Yeah, the store's been around 17 years. It was originally started by a friend of mine, Nathan, and I worked for him forever. And eventually he just said, hey, I'm too old for this. You wanna buy it from me? And like really without even questioning much, I was just like, yeah, 100%. I would love to buy it from you. Like no brainer. Yeah.
Nice. So I don't want you to reveal any. How do you structure a thing like that? Like, is it sort of you're paying them out of the profits? Do you take a loan?
Oh yeah, right. So it's kind of a long story, right? Because like with a store like that, what you're buying is goodwill, so it's called. Like, a lot of people would probably just look at, all right, you got a game store, what's it worth? What's every game worth together, right? But really what you're buying is like your customers' loyalty, the brand recognition, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of hard to put a number on. Luckily, Nathan, he really cared about the place, so he just said, you know, I'm gonna give you a really good price, but you can't gut this thing. You need to keep it around. Like, I don't know how you legally agree to something like that, but that's what he said, and I'm in agreement, so that's good. But anywho, affording something like that as like a college student was totally impossible, right?
Yeah.
But we all remember Pokemon Go, right? So I happened to be invested in Nintendo when Pokemon Go came out, and the stock price like shot up by like 4 or 5 times or 6 times its value. So that coincidentally happened at the exact same time, and I said, wow, what a blessing, and just got out of that and bought the store.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's life for you. It's just luck. You can work as hard as you want, but at the end of the day, it's luck.
Yeah. That's cool. So just to remind everyone in the audience, we are live. We're seeing your comments fly by. Got to be honest, all the people just posting little icons are making it a little hard to see the comments. But that's cool. We appreciate the enthusiasm. So if you have questions for Cody, post them in the comments, and we will get to them. So, all right. How much is the inventory? I don't know if you want to dig that far in. It's a store full of games, right?
Constantly changing, yeah. Every single day, like on stream for the first time ever, I streamed while the store was open. That was like a week or 2 ago or something. And like the craziest things will happen. Like, you know, one day your inventory could be worth like just random numbers, like your inventory could be worth $10, and then someone comes in and trades in a massive pile of stuff, and suddenly it's $100,000. Like, it changes very rapidly, like really quick. When I was in the store the other day, someone traded in a gigantic Star Fox statue that's like one of like 80 in the world, and it was like really good. Wow. So you never know what's going to come in, and it changes constantly. That's like part of the fun of it, you know, like seeing what came in every day. It's like opening a mystery box always.
All right. Oh. Do you ever sleep overnight in the store?
People ask that a lot, and I have no idea why. No. I did pass out from exhaustion once in the store, just working too much. So woke up like 2 hours later. So sort of, a little bit on accident.
All right. Didn't Cody get a Nintendo World Championship card?
Do you know what that is?
That's a good story. No, what is that?
Oh boy. That was like, world news might be exaggerating, but that was really big news. A guy came into our store with one of the rarest video games ever. I would say, generally speaking, the #1 holy grail for any video game collector is a cartridge called the Nintendo World Championships. Did you ever see the movie The Wizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's that cartridge that they compete on. Nobody knows exactly how many there are, but I think there's like something like 20 or 30 that people know about right now. And one of them just came into our store. The guy had no idea what it was at all. So he was totally shocked, and I was totally shocked. I came up to him and I was like, "Hey man, are you like pulling a prank or something?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "This thing is worth like a car, bro." Like, okay, I'll get back to you in a second. So I'm like looking at the whole thing, and prices have changed like crazy post-COVID. This was right before. But at the time, I estimated we could probably sell it for like $15,000 to $20,000, you know? I mean, it's a pretty big range because it's such a rare item that it's really up to the new buyer what it's worth, you know? Like one day it could sell for 20,000, but it's so rare. The next one that sells a year later, maybe no one cares anymore. Now it's 15, you know? Anywho, I told the guy, "Hey, I'll give you $13,000 right now if you want it. If you want to take it back, that's all up to you." And he's just like, cool. He's like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good. We'll do it." And his girlfriend who's with him is like freaking out so much. Like, I expected him to. But yeah, so he just walked out with the check for all that money, and it was the treasure that was in his closet that, like, I think a lot of people dream about when they go to sell their games. Like, oh, what if one of these is super rare? And that guy had it. He got to live that dream.
I'm surprised he didn't like dig in and like run off and research and get 3 more quotes, right?
Right. I mean, I told him.
But maybe he was just committed to doing this today.
But I think we just have like a really good reputation, you know, and we've been around for so long. And I mean, certainly that story helped the reputation even further, but yeah.
So when I bought my house, there was this ugly chandelier in it. And I was like, I don't want this thing. So I took it down and I took it to the Lighting Emporium, which is this giant store that buys and sells like chandeliers and stuff. And I was like, what would you give me for this? And they're like, you're willing to sell this?
Really?
Chandeliers, like, huh? Yeah, I don't like it. What would you give me? And they get this crafty look and they're like, we could give you something on a trade-in towards a new one. And I was like, fuck you, you're trying to rip me off. Excuse my French. And I took it home and put it back up, and now I love that chandelier. I have no idea what it's worth.
It's worth a lot more in your head now, for sure.
But yeah, now it's worth more in my head because it's obvious those guys wanted to rip me off over it.
At the same time, though, good luck selling a chandelier. What are you going to ship that?
I'm not. I put it back up. I love it to this day. It's still hanging there.
Good. Then that's the perfect outcome, I think.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So, audience, what games are you guys interested in these days? You know, let's get some comments on this.
It's like what, Elden Ring? Is that what everyone?
Elden Ring, yeah, that seems to be all I see people posting about. Anything else interesting? All right, so here's an interesting. What is your? Oh, well, that's not the comments I thought I clicked on, but it's a great one. We'll go with it. Does Pink Gorilla have other investors?
Like, can you buy stock? No, thank you. I'm just gonna.
ShadowCon is wondering if he can buy stock or she can.
Sorry, ShadowCon. You can buy T-shirts, and I will appreciate you very much.
So where do they buy the T-shirts?
PinkGorillGames
off your Twitch.
All right. Yeah, or off Twitch. Yeah, anything like that. Yeah, I think people who come to my stream, we like to try kind of old stuff, and go back into retro games, of course. There's so much to appreciate that just gets skipped, and lots of hidden gems, and I mean even not hidden gems, like huge popular series that you just like kind of ignore because you don't have time. No one has time for all that stuff. But I just went back and played a really old game called Psychonauts. It's like a 10 out of 10 game I never hear anyone talk about, and then loved it.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's Double Fine, Tim Schafer. That's like their big game. They're all known for, but anyway, it's amazing.
All right. So, how has streaming helped your store?
Oh yeah.
Does it actually help business, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. So it's kind of, it's a lot of recognition. We have customers come in all the time who say, oh, I watched this stream and I came in from out of town and I knew we had to stop here, like tourists to Seattle and stuff. We've had some people who say they come just for that, which is really flattering. And they don't just know it only from my stream. We also have lots of other content creators in the Pacific Northwest who like the stores and share. But the stream in particular, how that has helped so much was like, at first we were really apprehensive to selling games online. We don't have like a Amazon style website. So sometimes I will sell things on Twitch though. And when COVID hit, we weren't allowed to be open for, I don't remember, 4 or 5 months, like half a year or so. We couldn't operate how we normally do, but we have all these employees that we don't want to fire or lay off or anything. So that was how we kept everyone employed. I was just streaming on Twitch like 12 hours a day, every single day for months, just selling things. And then we were able to keep everyone paid, just basically sitting at home or sometimes processing inventory at different hours and things. But I was really thankful for that. That was like a real, again, luck, blessing.
Yeah.
Worked out like that.
Cool. So what are some other challenges you faced with the streaming?
With streaming, not too much. The only challenge is like maintaining the gear, I suppose. It seems like something's always kind of crashing. I have like a mobile setup, which sounds really silly because I'm usually just in my store, but I have the whole like IRL gun run backpack setup thingy that everyone uses, you know? And yeah, maintaining the various glitches that come with that. I just really enjoy the freedom to be able to, you know, run around anywhere in the store, like drive to the other store, drive, you know, wherever, anytime I want. It's a lot of fun, but that's the main thing, is just maintaining that and the various glitches.
So you were talking before about your Discord too. Before we got online, before we started streaming, you were talking about the Discord. Like, you have your own server. How do people find? How do people find it? Like, are you?
Oh yeah, people just find it from the Twitch stream. It's cool. People like to share games they're picking up. And we also lately, in the last couple of months, I lost like 35 pounds or so and got really in shape. So we started encouraging each other to do that. We had like a weight loss competition, and some guys got like really, really good results, like 40 plus pounds they lost. So we've been kind of encouraging each other in that. And so it's mostly that. It's wrestling and baseball talk, sharing games we picked up, and encouraging each other to lose weight. And a little bit of
How did you personally? How did you lose weight? Like what did
Hollywood
you change?
diet. It's called only chicken breast, only broccoli. That's it. Just basically eat right. That was my only problem. I was always at the gym, but I was eating like a fatty, so I don't know. Just shredded off right away because I had all this muscle hiding under fat that just ate it away.
Right. Okay. So anything besides eating better or exercising that I could do?
It's pretty simple, yeah.
But we're not going to do either of those two things. All right. So what is a ballpark monthly cost to maintain your stream or setup? Wormwood Gaming is asking.
I think it's about $1,000 a month. Pretty spendy. It's just like, you know, infinite modems are like pretty spendy, and I do 4 of them, which is probably overkill, but yeah, that's
your stream is you really are using a LiveU box, and it's all going over cellular.
Yeah. So there's probably cheaper ways to do that in the store, but I found them to be much less reliable and also much less freeing. Is that the right word? You have less freedom to like run around and do whatever. So
right.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. I'm using Speedify, of course.
Yeah.
Where I've got it set up so that it's trying to use my cable modem first, and if that doesn't work, I've got 2 cellular. But if things are cool, I don't use any cellular data.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you know, a lot of times things aren't cool, and I need those cellulars. But most of the time, here, I'll show you real quick, right? So Speedify is my app. It runs in the background, and it lets you use multiple internet connections. So here it is on the iMac I'm on right now, the Mac Mini I'm on now, right? So the Ethernet is hooked up to a cable modem, and then the two cellulars are these 2 cell phones. So, you know, things are totally cool. I can have one go out and I use cellular, but I'm not using cellular. Man, you're on for 5 hours at a time.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to get you set up with Speedify.
I think so.
That's the moral of the story. Cool. So tell us more. So, like, you're using the LiveU. What's your camera?
Oh, I use the Sony A6600. So the Sony like alpha cameras are really nice, but the 6600 in particular has like the built-in, I forget what it's called, stabilizer. So it's like a little bit better, but it's still really jiggly, you know. All the other live streamers use the Sony action cameras, but I thought that this one would look a little bit nicer, but I think giving up the motion stabilization is a bad idea. So I'm getting another Sony again. I tried GoPro, but it's a total mess. Anyway, basically I have thousands of dollars of cameras and equipment that I thought I can do it better, and I was wrong every time. So it was fun to experiment though.
Yeah. That's cool. And so then, all right, so the LiveU box takes an HDMI, digitally encodes it, sends it over the cellular, and then sends RTMP to Twitch.
Yeah,
Is that-
so
is that
RTMP
kind of the
is
chain?
taught by like a live server, and then you can add all your OBS things, and then that'll also save you from, you know, when you lose connection inevitably. Because, you know, I'm walking around a lot. The one place where I do IRL stuff that isn't stable, like, you know, the store is pretty consistently, there's mobile internet available. But sometimes I'll go to Las Vegas. I live in Seattle and Las Vegas. And Las Vegas mobile internet is miserable. I don't know if you've ever tried to use like Google Maps or something, but your pin will teleport all the time. Just because, I don't know, the heat, who knows? But the mobile internet there is just not set up right. And it's really unreliable. So it's awesome to have that server to like catch you when you lose it for a minute.
Yeah. So again, I'll use Speedify, and you can run Speedify on a phone. I feel like I'm really pitching Speedify hard here. And I have two phones, so I'll actually have my iPhone will use its AT&T, and then it'll join my Android phone, which is on Verizon. And now my phone has two cellulars, right?
Yeah.
And that seems to work pretty well for me.
What happens when both are like both die?
Yeah, both die, I'm dead. If both die, I'm dead. And I'm offline, right? But if AT&T or Verizon works, I'm still online. And if both are dead, then I'm offline. So, all right. Thank you, Breakpoint. So obviously, if you guys could, like, follow, subscribe, whichever it is, depending on which platform you're watching here. I try to interview interesting people, twice a week. All right. Thank you. Interesting streamers. That's it. I'm not really trying to sell you anything, except occasionally Speedify. And oh right, I was in Vegas for the NAB show.
What's that?
A couple weeks ago. National Association of Broadcasters.
Oh,
so
cool.
Actually, like the TV station, like it's the people trying to sell the gear to like the TV stations and stuff.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
So yeah, it was cool stuff. So it was probably the coolest booth though was it B&H Photo from New York.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like DJI there. So they had all the drones, all the like gimbals and stabilizers and stuff, and they spent a long time with me walking through their booth, showing off every cool new toy.
Nice. I was just looking at getting a underwater drone. Yeah, I think that would be really fun. But it's going to be a big waste of money. But I think that's how guys are. We just like, oh man, that drone I'm going to use twice sure looks good.
Yeah, I keep looking at the drones and I realize their prices, like for what you get, $500-600 is perfectly reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But only if you're actually going to use it, right? I think I'll fly it around twice.
Yeah,
be like, that was awesome, and then it'll go on the shelf.
I did get a drone. I think it was 1,000, and I crashed it the first night I got it. It has like computers to stop you from crashing. I'm like, oh no, I'm not using that. And of course, right away.
Oh, I was the DJI guy, so I'm like, I'm not going to buy this if I can crash it. And they're like, it's really smart. You should be able to crash it.
But
because I know that if I put it on manual, I destroy it instantly.
If you put it in manual, it goes faster. That's the appeal. I can't have it not going fast.
And they have the ones with the goggles.
Oh, VR goggles?
The VR goggles, so you see what it sees as it
with like no latency too. Yeah, those are crazy.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother world. Oh my god.
All right. Space Budgie says drones are cool. I always wanted one, but I'd be nervous I'd crash it. Yes.
Let the computer take the wheel. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I would let the computer drive. All right. All right. So So what is, you said there's a server you stream to that lets you add the OBS stuff? What is that? Is that from LiveU, or is that something from some other service you're paying for?
It's another streamer, although I don't think he streams much anymore. He's Synapse is his name on Twitch. He has like a service that he offers that I think he just has like Amazon computers, but he has like his own custom software on there. But basically you just have a computer that you like log into with like a remote control, and it's just like any other computer except it's run by AWS, so it's more reliable, generally speaking. Yeah.
Oh, so you're using the remote desktop software and actually running OBS on a computer in Amazon.
On a fake virtual computer, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that, but I get it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you can do all of the options that like anyone like on their home station could do, right? Like pretty much any of that's open to you. I think my virtual computer is better than my home computer, actually. That being said, you then introduce, I think I have 7 seconds of delay. So it's really difficult if you want to time something fancy, like a scene change or like whatever. You got to like have a mental metronome of 7 seconds. Click it just right, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. All right. So when you go IRL streaming, like when you wander around the desert outside Vegas, it's the exact same setup. Is that right?
That's right. I just have been trying.
Backpack and go.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so sometimes I get really creative though, and condense it down. So I like to go to some weird stuff like EDC. It's a giant dance party on the Las Vegas Speedway. I think it's the biggest rave in America. I think so. Anyway, but they're pretty strict on sort of strict on what you can bring in. So basically I have to condense that typical backpack down into like a tiny little, like basically see-through bag. So lots of tape, lots of cutting wires, resplicing wires, like shrinking everything down to be just like this tiny little acceptable bag that looks suspicious as hell, but technically follows the rules. Yeah. So it's either that insane, scary, sketchy setup, or the typical backpack anywhere I go walking. It's tough because that backpack, it's I think I weighed it, it's like 12 pounds. So you get a strong back over time. But
yeah. I wonder if I should get the gun run on here. Yeah, he and I hung out in Vegas a couple times actually.
Yeah.
And he, I don't know. He moved to Japan, and I haven't seen him since. I assume he's actually back.
Yeah. Huh.
All right. So, you stream at different times a day, right? You don't seem totally consistent about streaming at the same time. Right?
I usually have been pretty consistent, except lately. I usually do, the store closes at 9 typically, and then I start at 9:30. But recently I've been like just trying to do new things. So I've been actually streaming in the store while it's open, which was something I was always like pretty opposed to. I was really worried about like customers being like really not happy about it. But I started doing that, and people actually were pretty thrilled about it. Like everyone really liked it. People liked interacting with the camera and stuff like that. So me being inconsistent is kind of a new thing actually. For years and years and years. Actually, my first year of streaming, I streamed every single day, 365 days in a row at the same time. That was like my original thing. But yeah, it's been nice to take sporadic breaks and do different times, get more sleep.
So Wormwood Gaming is asking, do you let the customers know they're being live streamed?
Yeah, we put a sign on the door so that everyone knows, like coming in, hey, we're doing this weird thing today. Don't mind us. We don't do it every day, don't worry.
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, I guess it's hard to tell, you don't know who's not okay with it. No one's ever come in and explicitly said like, oh, I hate this or something. But I guess you don't
By
know.
the time they come in, they're on camera.
but yeah, like most people have been like really actually excited about it, and it seems like those days we get busier. Maybe people see it and want to come in or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So, by the way, Wormwood Gaming, we had Polly from Wormwood on, who I would guess is the person there, but maybe isn't. And he talked about you a lot, and he was saying how inspired he was to start streaming, by watching your streams. And that's kind of what made Wormwood realize that, putting cameras in their shop and letting people see their tables get built was something people would actually watch on Twitch.
Yeah.
So he talked about coming to Seattle and visiting your store soon.
And I was just talking about getting one of his tables. I just got a house, and I need a good gaming setup now. So
yeah, his tables are beautiful.
Yeah,
those things are so beautiful. All right, Quiet Galaxy is asking, how did you come up with the personal shopping?
Oh,
maybe you should explain the personal shopping thing.
It's a channel point reward that we do. So I use channel points quite a bit, actually. So if you save up 30,000 channel points, you control the camera for 5 minutes, and you get to act like a shopper. Like, I'll be your shopping surrogate. You tell me what to look at, we'll look at it with the camera, and you can buy whatever you like. Now, normally that wouldn't be really much of a draw at all, right? But we don't sell games online like a typical kind of Amazon style website. So it is kind of a draw because we have very low prices, really nice tested stuff. So that's the only way to buy it if you're not local to Seattle. It's kind of an intentional bottleneck we made to keep a more complicated model going. Well, I guess it's not that complicated, but it's kind of not instinctive for people to hear, oh, you don't sell online? Why is that? Do you hate money? It's a pretty delicate balance you have to maintain of good inventory in the store that keeps people coming in, and enough sales to keep everything going. You got to find the perfect middle ground, and doing that personal shopping, that style, again, creating that bottleneck really makes it work perfectly.
So how's the gaming industry obviously is changing all the time. How concerned are you about sort of the future of gaming stores and where the industry is going?
Yeah, I'm not so worried about that. Obviously, I'm not digital will never catch on. That's ridiculous, right? But so gaming has gone in these kind of waves. When I first started, I'm trying to remember what the current console was. I guess 360. So 360 was out. Digital was sort of just first starting, and then as far as retro goes, NES was really popular, and then Super Nintendo, and then GameCube, which is or 64, and then GameCube, which is where we're at now. The gaming kind of goes in waves like this. But basically, the reason I'm not so worried about long-term future of my store, for example, is the collectible market has been around forever, and it's around for everything. It's for records, CDs, I gave 2 music examples, but it's for everything: stamps, baseball cards, all that kind of stuff, right? And as those things have gotten less popular, you're not seeing those stores they're not gone, right? They're still around these days, and I believe ours will too. In the future, when we're not selling new games, because there are no new games, say for the PS6 or something, say there's no more physical games. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not really our biggest seller, current stuff. Our biggest seller is everything else. But not only that, we also sell, games that they don't re-release. They don't print anymore. Some way, the only way to get some of the games is this particular way. But even then, it's not about the ability to play it. People just like collecting and playing these games they've had. So I would say maybe 100 years in the future, who knows? But as far as me and my ability to exist on this planet, it will cover that and more. So I'm not too stressed about that.
So does the stream bring anything in? Are you a partner? Do you have any sponsors, or it's just?
So the stream itself, we don't do ads typically. Right. I guess it's kind of a weird hybrid, I guess. It's definitely the store stream, but I also try to just make it Cody stream when I do like other weird things. But yeah, it brings in like a ton for the store through like, you know, online sales and stuff. But we don't do like, you know, sponsored by X and Y really, anything like that. It just doesn't seem like it would really be appropriate. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just my weird thought. But
so what other you said other weird things you stream besides the store? What other things do you stream?
Yeah, I guess it's not that weird, but like I've been trying to go on Seattle tours, showing people other cool things in Seattle. I got one of those one wheels. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes.
Yeah, just like an electric skateboard, basically. So yeah, I'm really good at that too. So like I can go really fast through traffic and everything, and it's really fun. Show all the cool stuff there is to see in Seattle, and this is the perfect time because I think our region has like the best summers of like any region. It's like so perfect here. You know, it's like 70 or 80 every day, really sunny and green and beautiful. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of the summer here and really get out more. Like a week or so ago, I took everyone to the best sushi place in Seattle.
Which is what?
Shiro's Sushi. Have you ever heard that documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
Yes.
It's related to that somehow complicatedly. Yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, there's lots of cool stuff in Seattle.
Yeah, it's a neat city. Oh, so you sometimes stream video gaming? Is that what I'm hearing from?
Oh, very rarely. Yeah, very rarely. For my birthday, I streamed this gem, Bachelor on Wii, which was a blast. It was super fun. We made a character named Chad, and he got all the ladies.
Somehow I missed that game. I don't know.
You missed the Bachelor one? It's even got bonus Bachelorette content on it. Oh my gosh. You got to get on it.
Speed runs, okay. All right. What's the temperature like in Seattle?
70, 80 every day. It's so nice. Yeah.
It's 97 here in Philly today, so.
At least for the next couple months.
Yeah. And we do love sushi. All right. So let's see. What else should we talk about? So how long have you been into video games? Is that just since you were a kid you've been?
Oh yeah, I think like everyone our age, right? It's like, yeah, since we were a little kid, and I grew up with it. But I took a huge break for a certain time. I can't remember why. Oh yeah, I was a teenager, so I was interested in skateboarding and girls more than video games. But when I got back into games, my first like return to games after several years was that classic Sonic 06. It's kind of notoriously terrible game. But I'd been away from games for so long, I was like, oh man, games are awesome now. They've gotten so much better. That's a really good entry point because it's like basically the worst it could be. You can only go up from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I stopped for a while and then Bioshock.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's so good.
That was amazing because that really was different, right? The idea that you could sort of do a horror and an Art Deco game, right? I mean, all that stuff that was in there that I just never seen in the game before.
Oh yeah, it really stood out.
You realize that really is art, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, do you see yourself adding stores to your current too?
Not particularly. For a moment, I was trying to open a store in Austin, Texas. It's a really awesome street. Anyone who's been there knows South Congress. But I think it would be the perfect spot for a store. Really, any small business would be amazing there. But nobody leaves because it's just such like a killer location. So your only options are going into new spots. So I found one spot open, and it was, I think it was $11,000 a month rent. So pretty intimidating entry point for a new store in a new city. So it's like, I'm okay. And I just kind of gave up from there. I don't know. I think
I have to imagine it's a whole nother level of organization
adding
required from
far
you.
away.
Add something in another city, right?
Definitely, yeah. And I think the extra stress wouldn't be worth any additional income at this point. You know, it's too much. I'll just chill. I'm happy now.
Yeah. All right. Chronic Pirate says, guess how many copies of Wall Street Kid Cody has? I'm not going to guess. How many copies of Wall Street Kid do you have?
So I'm trying to collect, this is an old original Nintendo game. It's about investing, and it's not very good, but I'm trying to collect all of them. I have 104 right now. Who knows how many they made? They didn't really record that kind of info back then, but and how many have gotten lost and thrown in the garbage and stuff. So I'll get them all one day, but
yeah. Trouble is, nobody's heard of it, right? I don't think you're driving up. Are you driving up the value?
I was for okay. So that was the original project, was to intentionally market manipulate on a game nobody gives a crap about, just for fun. Which is funny because a lot of the people in our retro gaming space get accused of things like that. Like a popular YouTuber will make a video and they're like, "Oh, I hate that guy. He made my copy of The Bachelor with so much more money. I was gonna buy that game and now it costs too much." And people get crap for that all the time. And then here I am doing that on purpose because I thought it would be funny. So yeah, we brought the price from $8 to $50, but then I stopped buying it. And the hype died down, so now it's like back down. But yeah, it's just a fun project that I guess I'm still kind of doing passively.
Nice. Yeah. Question for both Alex and Cody: what is your favorite dinosaur?
The pterodactyl, I think.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
My first thought is the Brontosaurus. I don't care; it doesn't exist. so I grew up in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, I would always go to the museum, and the Brontosaurus, the biggest dinosaur that ever lived, they had the skeleton. They tell us it's so amazing. This dinosaur is so huge, but it had this little head.
Yeah.
I went to the museum like 6 times. They told the same thing over and over. Biggest dinosaur that ever lived, but it had this little head, the brain the size of a walnut. And then like 7th time I go to the museum, they're like, we realized we had the wrong head on it.
Oh, is that really what it was?
So, yeah.
Oh.
They were like, there was this giant head right next to the skeleton. For some reason, the guy who dug it up found this little skull and stuck it on it.
Yeah,
So there's no longer a Brontosaurus. They renamed it to the Brachiosaurus, which is the same dinosaur with the right skull on it. Otherwise, I guess I'd go with Stegosaurus. Tail's awesome.
Yeah. Good weapon.
All right. Yes. Alex is aware of the Brontosaurus drama. Yeah. I was there at the time. I was a little kid. They took away my dinosaur. I was angry. It was the Pluto of 1984.
Oh, no. Hell no. Pluto's a planet. Brontosaurus is a saurus.
Wait, it's back? All right. I feel like I'm behind. All right. So what plans do you have for the rest of the year? Any big plans?
So our big thing, the other thing I stream is conventions. So just like Wormwood, actually I don't know if he's going to be at Emerald City, but he's definitely going to be at PAX. So Penny Arcade Expo, it's huge. Are you familiar? For anyone who's not familiar.
Yeah. I've heard all about it.
Yeah,
here
in Seattle,
that's comic strip, but I've never been to the convention.
Well, the one here, it used to be called PAX Prime. Now it's called PAX West because they've just expanded so much, and it's such a good time. It's our biggest event every year. It's really funny. So our little store, we were one of the original supporters of the convention back when it was just like this tiny little thing before it grew so big, and because of that, they've been like so kind to us to grandfather us in. And here we are now at this massive convention with like Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. And it's like, yeah, here's Nintendo, here's Sony, here's Microsoft, and here's Pink Gorilla. They're like, we're like right next to the big boys at this massive convention. So I always stream that, reception permitting. And also Emerald City Comic-Con. So that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a comic book convention, but PAX is the big one because it's kind of a preview. It typically happens, September or so? So right before like the big rush of new games are coming out. So you get like early previews, and sometimes they announce new stuff, But I think for me, the biggest draw is like the indie games. You can try out a ton of indie games and talk with the indie game developers who are all there. They get their own really massive spot too. So I love that. But yeah, I'll be streaming some conventions. It's always fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm telling you. I was doing NAB and that was great. All right, so if Tony Hawk and Matt James were hanging off a cliff and you could only save one, who would you choose?
Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk, he's done so much. Such an influence on my life.
I would probably joke around. I would joke around with Tony Hawk until he accidentally fell. You know who you look like. All right. Have you ever thought about doing a stream meetup based on how close your community seems, outside of people just popping up in the store to say hi?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Get the audience together.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like. So this is probably not the best place to do it, but we're talking about EDC next year, that giant rave I mentioned. So a couple of people in the community have already bought tickets. So I think, and I already got mine. Yeah, so I think we might be there, but I should probably come up with something a little more normal and not insane. But we did one time, we met Halloween in Vegas. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know who. Will Cody ever reveal the identity of who New Guy is and how he has not lost his job yet?
Yeah, so New Guy is a specter. You know, anytime anything goes wrong, it's New Guy's fault. You know, even though we haven't hired a new guy in quite a few months now, maybe a year, he's still out there and causing trouble.
Yeah. So he's just a fictional person for drawing.
Yeah, to blame anything I do wrong.
In the Scrum methodology for software development, they decided that so much time was wasted with management saying, whose fault is this bug? That some guy named Steve said it's my fault. Management asks whose fault it is, it's my fault. And so the methodology says, if management comes around asking whose fault it is, you say it's Steve's fault.
Oh, okay. Same idea.
It's actually in the methodology.
For real, huh?
So, here's a question. They're asking, they know you don't usually sell collectibles like statues and figures because they take up space, but do you own or want anything specific yourself?
Oh, nothing big like that. No, I don't think so. I have that Star Fox statue I mentioned. It's like as big as like a little kid, you know, it's pretty freaking tall. We ended up with 3 of them. It's just taking up so much space. I sold one and now I'm going to take one home for myself. But yeah, no, that's the biggest thing I'll get and the last thing I'll get up probably. Yeah, nothing like that.
Nice. So do you watch any streaming? Are you too busy streaming to watch anything, or are you watching?
Yeah, I stay like pretty busy, except, you know, in the evenings afterwards. So I usually catch the people who are like really late, usually like international people. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Rob CD, he's been going around Japan on his bike. I've been able to catch a bit of that. Just, yeah, a couple friends who are in Japan and Korea right now, you can actually watch. But otherwise, I'm usually in the store or streaming myself. So it's kind of busy.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Any time to read? Do you read anything?
No, reading's for nerds.
These days.
I'm good.
Nerds.
I read subtitles.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's see. I have some more streams coming up after this one. I guess I should talk about. So on June 7th, we have fishing enthusiast, Australia's TV from Australia. So he live streams fishing, and I think he throws them all back. He's super careful.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's great. June 8th, we have Judy from Vid Academy, where, you know, she teaches how to do better video production.
I knew that. No.
Yeah. I don't mean you. I mean all of us in general.
Oh yeah.
It's important. Audio quality, super important. And And then on June 14th, we're going to have Stream Dad, who's one of the original Dead by Daylight streamers. And yeah, so we've got a lot of interesting people coming. So you all should, follow, so, hear them. And of course, you should follow Cody. His streams are awesome. DSKoopa on
Please
Twitch.
do. Yeah.
So let's see. So you guys, we're almost out of time. You got 5 minutes left. So hit us with any questions, and we'll answer while we can. All right. I'll follow this guy.
Oh, thanks, Blackwood.
Hopefully I'm this guy.
So nice.
Maybe he is. Cool. So any parting thoughts for us?
How
about this? Any words of advice for people who want to start live streaming?
The only thing I think I'm qualified to actually give for advice, because I think with me, I guess it'd be kind of like a gimmick stream, I guess you could call it. Like, it has a draw that I didn't have to work for. Like, I had a popular store already, and that brings people in. And then if they like me, that's great. They can stick around. But I have something to constantly draw me in. But I would say the only thing that I can actually be qualified to give advice for is that sort of don't quit your day job. And what I mean by that is not like, don't put your all into your Twitch stream. But I think it's been pretty beneficial to me to go about daily life interacting with people. A lot of people get to be, only in their homes, only work on computers, and you just kind of interact differently. You don't become like a normal person like the audience that might be watching. It's a lot more relatable to be a normal, and it's better for your health too, mental and physically, to get out and touch grass, so to say, and just interact in daily life. I mean, get a story or two, get out there and have something to talk about that's not internet related, I think that's been kind of beneficial for me. I think it would be beneficial for a lot of streamers.
All right, so Earthworm Joe is asking, Cody, what is your inventory turnover ratio? So that's right. How long do products sit on your shelf on average before you manage to sell them, right?
Oh, yeah, it's stream joke. It's yeah, it's I don't know.
Happens when you put a disc in the resurfacer backwards. Okay.
Oh, then you fire the employee immediately.
Has that happened?
One employee found a way to do this. Nobody else has ever done it. One person did it on accident.
Nice.
You know what that is? You can clean the scratches off a disc with a really amazing machine. But if you put it in with the art up, it will just destroy it. So one person did it once, but never any other time.
And the machine really works better than rubbing toothpaste on or whatever tricks they used to tell us.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive, but it'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. So what game title has sat on the shelf the longest?
Oh, yeah. People ask that. Oh, did we sell it? We had a sealed copy of Shaq Fu on the Game Gear. Shaq Fu? Shaquille O'Neal fighting game? Yeah, that was sitting around forever. I think we finally sold it, though. But it might have been around a whole year or two.
Wow. All right. So I think we are coming to the end here. All right. Did Cody tell the NWC story?
Yeah.
Is this a good... Oh, okay.
Nintendo World Championships, yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. If you could own any other small business, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. This is the only thing I'm good at. Electronics repair, probably. That's just like a subset of what we already do, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of fixing and learning these old
so much stuff is so disposable now, right?
Oh yeah, I hate it. It's miserable. You can really see the quality dip like as you progress along. Like a lot of people don't know this, like PS4 controllers, there's like 5 different models. They keep changing it to make parts cheaper. So they're like not interchangeable if you need to make repairs, and then they're just crappier and crappier as they come along. So it's annoying.
And it's not by accident at all, right?
No.
I mean,
That's the biggest defense. Yeah, like Sony on the PS3 controller, instead of paying like, I don't know, less than a penny for a ZIF connector, a solid connector, they used a piece of foam. So what'll happen is over time that foam gets weak and the connection's not solid and your controller stops working. It was just because they wanted to save like a fraction of a penny across, of course, millions of controllers, but but also it seems like malicious because it's like, that's such a small fragment and it would have gone so far. Planned obsolescence, they call it.
Yeah. But also not needing a part. I mean, I used to be involved in manufacturing electronics, and it's hard to believe there are these parts. You have to have every part. Some parts are 1/10 of a cent for these tiny resistors, and if you're short one of them, the whole line stops.
Yeah.
Right? And like everybody's got to go home. We don't have the 2.5 ohm 501 resistors. We lose. So, all right, we're at 6:01. I think we call it. So, Cody, thank you so much. This was awesome. Everyone who is not already following him and watching him, DSKoopa on Twitch. It's great. Super chill. Hang out, watch him in the store. Fun stuff. Us, we interview live streamers all the time. If you follow us, Speedify Live. We're here. Twice a week we interview someone interesting. Once a week we bring on the engineers who made Speedify and let you ask them anything. And I think a lot of interesting things come out of that as customers start grilling them. So I think that's it. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll have some engineers on, and then June 7th is the next one with Australia's TV, and it should be awesome. That's right. Flip that follow button. Cool. Thank you, Cody. This was great.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone.